Hello and welcome to Casting Roles, a persistent D&D campaign played by a bunch of theater nerds. Thank you for joining us. If you're liking the show, please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. And if you would like to connect to the show, you can find us on Twitter at Casting Roles and on Facebook at Casting Roles ILM. We stream here on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and our videos are uploaded on Friday of the same week, although one-shots might pop up on a Monday or so for that. We are still without our dear Marlo, who is in a production of Let the Right One In right now in town, but she will be joining us back in a few more sessions, so we'll be excited to have her back. But as a reminder, there is the Lost Adventures of Marlo, which will alternate with this show, so you can see what's happening with Marlo as she goes. And this next episode will be a very special episode with a special guest, a friend of the show, Amanda Wilson, who is also a content creator of her own. You can check her out on her podcast where she and her husband discuss Harry Potter. He's a Harry Potter virgin, and she is a Potterhead, and they're reading through the series together, him for the very first time, and they're trying to pull out marriage lessons and life lessons from the show. It's a fantastic listen. You can find them anywhere podcasts are found. They are called The Fox and the Foxhound, and we'll put a link down in the video description. But with no other announcements, we'll go ahead and start the show. So, ticket takers. After dealing with the demonic sickness causing problems in the Boreal Quarter of Hightower, you decided to make your way back to the airship to make it worthy for the expedition to Feldspar. Along your journey, Marlo decided that she needed to take a step away so that she could make sure that her mother figure Amalia was in a safe place, and she also set off to try to do a little bit of digging into the Curia Regis to try to uncover which member of that group is part of a priori. As you kind of made your rounds around the city, getting some much needed supplies, stocking up the ship for the journey, you kind of separated the party a little bit as Jury and Kaimana headed off for a night at the... Did you end up going to the Absent Rapier?
I think so.
I think so. Like a night of Bacchanalia at the Absent Rapier.
Drinking and having a good time.
Yes. Leaving Abel and Saurus to set the ship up, do a little work on the engines, kind of set up the living quarters and all kinds of things. Bedding down for the night, Abel and Saurus were testing out the new hammocks. When Saurus kind of had a tinge in the middle of the night that something was a little off, waking up into darkness and realizing that this was similar to what had been described by Abel's not familiar homunculus, Anansi. Saurus kind of followed the source of the darkness and then staked out, waiting for it to return. Seeing it coming back aboard the ship, he assaulted the creature. Did manage to get a hit in on it before it whispered in his ear that it had already fed that night, grabbed Saurus and threw him off the ship. So, ticket takers, picking up there, what's going on with Kaimana and Jury?
Because right now I'm doing my flying squirrel impression.
Yeah, go ahead and, we'll check in with Kaimana and Jury first, but go ahead and roll a D100 for me, Rob.
Please don't. No on that. Oh, I forgot to pull my sheet. Oops.
I had to pull mine up too.
I was like, oh wait, dice rolls? I said
A 4%? I was like, anything above a 30%, you might be in good graces. But okay, we'll see.
I'm gonna have to use my monk ability for.
You have Featherfall, right?
Yeah.
It's slow fall.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna need to use that. But
so,
I figured out between my hit points and the max damage falling 100 feet could do,
should be okay.
that I should be able to survive. Unless I roll another 4 on a percentile dice.
Yes.
So this will just be fun role play.
Yes. All right, but let's check in. So did Jury and Kaimana like stay up late, or did you all make your way to a room and kind of bed down for the evening?
Shots.
Yeah.
Shots.
All right, so you are at the midnight showing of the Absent Rapier. You have the fantastic show going on with all of the dancers and the pyrotechnics and the uses of minor illusions and basic magic spells from the proprietor of the shop. But everybody is truly enjoying it. I imagine Jury at some point probably busted out their loot and were joining in.
Yeah. Jury seems like a little distracted the whole time, like he's thinking about something. And anytime you look at him, he's like, "Oh yeah, we're having a great time." You know, he's just like brushes it off, like, "Oh, we're fine, it's great." And it's his little. I'll do a little song.
Would Kaimana be paying attention to Jury's behavior?
I mean, Kaimana is a really easy person to lie to.
I mean, yeah. Should I roll performance to see?
Yeah, go ahead to see if you, because I imagine you would, like, you are familiar enough with the Absent Rapier crowd. I imagine they would have asked you to join in.
Oh, I got a 27, so.
A 27,
I think they enjoy it.
Yeah, let me just, I got my high tower
Kaimana goes to, like, pay for drinks, and I'm like, "Oh, sweetie, we don't pay for
we
drinks.
don't pay for drinks here.
That's not how that works."
Yeah,
We don't
so,
pay for drinks.
What song do you do?
I don't know, some kind of jaunty. It's so Jury always plays songs that sound really nice, and then it's like dismantle the establishment.
Yeah.
You know, it's like some kind. The words are like
Anarchy.
yeah, it's like you're like
At some point during the final performance of the evening, the Madame Adeline Lafleur, dressed in a full like tuxedo kind of get up with a like complete with this flashy top hat, notices Jury in the audience and old friends, pulls them on stage, and announces to the entire Absent Rapier crowd that we are blessed this evening with the fantastic Jordan, who will be joining us with the performance. And you play this rousing epic. There's a couple not Crowns Guard, but there's a couple kind of Kingsguard in the area that they're off drinking for the evening, but they're still in uniform. I make this joke that every time I roll for guards, their perception is so low. It doesn't
so
like I just rolled a 2. Like I don't know what is it with the guards in this game. They suck. But they seem unaware of the tenor of your vocabulary. But there are a few other people that definitely pick up on it. There's clearly a Vox Populi contingent present for the evening. And you know that Madeleine Lafleur has a soft spot for the Rift and the people there. So the performance goes off without a hitch. Some people throw some coppers and silvers your way, so you probably pick up about 7 or 8 silver worth of waving donations as it goes. But then the performance ends for the night and things begin to quiet down, but they serve drinks here until the last person passes out, so.
nice. I'm probably not gonna stay up too late. I'll ask Kaimana if he wants to share a room or if he wants to. Okay.
Okay. So Madeline comps your room for you because you did perform, and then you head up to. I keep saying Madeline. Her name is Madame Adeline. I just am merging it all together.
Madeline is what I call her.
Yeah. Adeline Lafleur comps the room for you. Meanwhile, has like found 2 very attractive like this half-working male that has his vest open, just like a thin hairy chest showing, and he's like fully in like pompadour like peacock status, and then like he had come in with probably a date, and she's like this fair half elven woman. Madame Adeline has both of them, and she's leading them up to her room, and so as you do, and
they must have a big bed.
Yeah. She hears you because she's wishing Jury a good evening. She says, "Oh, I've got the biggest bed in Hightower," and she makes her way upstairs to her space. But you all have a room.
I'm
Must
sure.
be cozy. There's 3 people gonna try it out.
I don't think they're sleeping much, sweetie.
Why wouldn't you sleep in a big bed?
Let's go to bed. How old are you? Like, what? How old does that make you in like other term? Are you?
I'll have you know I am 10 years old.
Is that like? Are you like a baby still?
I went through my trial.
Oh, okay. You have to tell me about it. Lead you upstairs to the room.
It's a fairly well-established room. There's a large, probably queen-size bed, beautiful kind of scarlet velvet throw over the top. The curtains match. There is a small table in the room. There is what you would assume is the fantasy equivalent of a wet bar with like little nuts and small, like a couple bottles of wine and things. If you had paid for the room, then they would be like, you'd have to pay for each of them if you took them,
Sure.
but you get the little comp there. So you've got some little snacks and things.
Yeah, we keep drinking. Then we go to sleep.
All right. So you bed down for the evening.
Sleep. Yep.
And you sleep through the night. It is undisturbed, and things are going well, unbeknownst to you.
I can finally rest my spells.
There you go. Yep, you do get the benefits of a long rest, and you recover any spells or things that you've used. Unbeknownst to you, meanwhile, across the way, we have the, probably not screaming, but the falling form of Saurus falling through the air. So Saurus, as the creature releases you, and you see the darkened space kind of descending into the belly of the ship, and the magical darkness fading from the deck of the ship, you release, and there's just this beautiful moment of like, it's like the slow falling scene with the Ballad of the Fallen Angel playing in the background of Cowboy Bebop. And like the stars are out ahead of you, and you can see the beautiful constellations, the two moons in the sky. You're like picking up on everything in this moment of slow fall, and you're preparing yourself for using your abilities. Yeah, go ahead.
You say this, but I have fallen from about 20 feet. I fell from a lighting grid once. And you talk about time dilation. That first half second, as I'm reaching for it, and my arms run out of extension as it's slowly pulling away. And it's just one of those of going, oh. And then time accelerates.
You clear the edge of the ship, and as you're falling back, like you see the ships beginning to pass by you. You were not thrown towards the dock, so you were thrown over the other side, and you were falling onto the city streets below. But there is a moment where you see the wisp on your arm, that little tether, and you see it kind of whipping up and back towards the ship. And you could pull it if you want to.
Oh God.
This takes a roll.
Yep.
Bad decision, so I use it.
All right. So when you grab it, another one appears out of the air nearby and wraps around your arm as well. So mark 2 for yourself. But the moment you grab it, you feel the energy of the tether, and it rushes down your arm, and then you suddenly feel almost incorporeal, like you disappear, your vision blurs for a second, and then when it clears, you're standing back on the deck of the ship. But you now have 2 tethers. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
And the thing has descended below?
Yeah, the darkness is completely gone from the deck of the ship.
What's around me that can make a lot of noise?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
13.
13. So looking around, I mean, there's some like barrel lids around. There's a few like metallic objects that Abel kind of left scattered about while he was repairing or doing work around the engines.
I am a very clean worker. Thank you very much.
Just a few. There's some random like tools or things that you could bang on or make noise.
I do my best Neil Peart imitation with the barrels and the bits of metal.
Okay. Abel, make a perception check.
That I will. Seven. Your boy is asleep.
He is sleep through. But
Worked
you're
really
doing
hard
your best
today.
to try to wake him up. At this point, Soros, you do, like, as you're kind of making noise or whatever, you see this little thing flitting off in the distance, and it approaches, and you see the silken web of Anansi approaching as it's returning from the mission that Abel sent him off on. And he flits down in your direction and kind of lands near you, and kind of looks up at you, like, where's Abel kind of appearance.
Yeah, I yell at him to go below and wake Abel no matter what it takes.
The moment you say that, Abel, you feel a twinge in your head, and Anansi's communicating you. Wake up!
I shoot straight up in bed.
Go and make another perception check now that you're awake.
Ooh, see what happened to you.
Damn, what the fuck? A 7.
Yeah, no.
Still a
So
little groggy.
you kind of are clearing your eyes. It's a little blurry. You think it's a little dark, but then you kind of blink a few times. Your eyes clear, and you open up, and nothing seems to be a problem. But then you suddenly hear noise coming from the deck above you.
Okay, I'll pull up my pants.
Yeah.
Pull on my pants. Probably in my jammies. I'll put on my pants and make my way.
I don't know what Abel's jammies look like.
They've got little gears and stuff on them.
Oh my god.
Fan art now.
Ace, you have a mission.
Yes, Ace. Abel in little
See my
gear
tablet's
jammies.
Tablet's literally right here.
Love it.
Start drawing during session, that'd be bad.
So you make your way up.
Yeah.
Up
I
on
guess
deck.
very groggy since I rolled a 7. I'm just kind of
Yeah.
like, oh, what are they doing, man?
You make your way up on deck, and Soros is up there frantically making noise on the deck, and you see.
Do I run into
Anansi.
the
Nope.
magical darkness?
Nope.
It wasn't. Oh. Okay. So I just like, what is going on?
I fill him in. I leave out the part about being flung over the side of the boat.
For the sake of your pride.
No, for the sake of having to explain how I got back on it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That
And
makes sense.
Soros, it's interesting. After you pulled the second tether, you see them everywhere now. Like, they're always there. Like, something that, like, there was an energy that was pulling to them before, but now, like, you've learned how to recognize them enough that you're like, there's another one here I can pull. Like, there's another one here, right? They're everywhere around you.
Interesting. So where did the darkness go?
It was going down the hatch the last I saw it.
I didn't see anything coming back up.
Then you're probably lucky.
I think we should investigate. It is probably not smart to take off on a ship if it's being haunted by a black cloud. Should we send for the rest of our team members?
Oh, I think there's enough danger for the two of us right now.
Well then.
Besides, Jury and Kaimana after a night in the pubs.
It might be more of a hazard than a help, it's true. Well, should we go down and investigate then, eh?
Yes.
Okay. I will pull my... Wait, I already used it once today. I have not gotten a long rest, I assume.
No, not yet.
Okay. Do I have any spell slots to make another Eldritch Cannon? I got some first level ones. Alright, I'm gonna make a... Oh, it's probably dumb. I'm gonna make a flamethrower.
On the wooden ship? Okay.
Nope.
Bad
nope.
idea. Bad idea. Bad idea.
I love that statement.
If you start to put that together, Source is just going to put his paw over it.
Oh my god.
You see
So I
him
think
pulling
I'm
out
still-
the little giraffe, and you're like, nope, put that away.
I'm still a little groggy. Yeah, Force Ballista.
Okay. He takes out the elephant, and you imbue it with the magical energy that activates it.
Okay. It's we make our way down the hatchet.
All right, so you descend below deck to the hatch. Go ahead and make a investigation or perception check and let me know which one you picked.
Investigation.
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm rolling like shit. An 11.
Don't notice anything in particular. You carefully check the ladder. You think that there might be the evidence of like claw marks on it or something, like scratches, but it's hard to tell. Source, you can make a perception or an investigation as well.
That is going to be.
I'm gonna.
What are investigation?
Whichever you choose, just let me know if you chose perception,
Perception or
or
investigation.
investigation.
Perception, nat 20, so that's a 25.
Good. So with an at 20, it would have taken very high to notice this. But as you're looking around, there's a moment like in the dark vision where you notice on the ground, it's mostly this uniform gray in the darkness. But you do see like every so often just a little bit of off coloration. Not quite like footsteps, but definitely a pattern. And it's leading towards Abel's cot.
I follow it.
All right. You get over there, and when you get to Abel's cot and where he puts all of his materials and things to store them for the evening, you check around. You don't see any more of the off coloration anywhere else. It goes to this space and then disappears.
I'll fire up some light.
Okay, you turn on the light, and with your nat 20, now that it's there, it's very difficult to tell. It's almost like when like the way that teak wood when it's wet is slightly darker color than the normal teak around
Yep.
it. It's that essence. But when you get down and you're looking at it closely, you see like thin wisps of smoke drifting off of it, and it's slowly evaporating and disappearing.
Oh, that's not good.
So each of the steps are slowly disappearing, so you caught them at just the right moment. Yeah.
I tell all of this to Abel.
So
He should check his possessions to see if anything is amiss.
Yeah, Abel. You go over to check your possessions, and sitting on the cover that was covering your hammock, there is a very, very fancy dagger. Probably, it's a silver, it looks like a ceremonial dagger. It looks to be made of silver, probably wouldn't be useful for fighting. The hilt is wrapped in gold, and there is a small gem on the pommel.
okay.
And it's left on the it was probably on the hammock when you got up, but you were kind of like getting out of bed and you didn't notice it with your 7 perception. But now that you're over there and there's light, it's easy to see.
Okay. Does anything about this dagger ring familiar to me?
Go ahead and make just a general intelligence check.
Okay. I just exited out of D&D Beyond. I went back in and like my stats.
I think that means you failed your intelligence check. If you accident.
because I was rolling like crap, so I was like, I'm gonna exit out and go back in.
Yeah.
But for some reason, my stats went down, and I'm like, why? So I'll just roll with the stats that's showing and try to figure out what happened. I don't want to hold things up. A natural 20.
So like you're looking at the dagger, it doesn't ring a bell of any connections that you can have, but as you're looking at it, there is very clearly a stamp on it of whoever the forge master was who made it.
The same ones who made the goblet?
No.
Or the chalice?
No.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's the Sundry Foundry. And it's like their symbol is like SF, and then it says Sundry Foundry along the lower bit of the blade. But then like around the S, there is like a half of a sun coming off of that, like a stylized sun.
What do I know about the Sundry Foundry?
Make a history check.
Sure, I will do that.
Well, you can go with your nat 20 because you were trying to investigate the blade. So when you see that, the name rings a slight bell. Like you think that when you were studying Eldritch Peak, that you heard about this very high class group of like blacksmith and crafters that were well known in Eldritch Peak as like ceremonial creators and crafters of things. Like you think the name rings a bell as the ones who actually made the crown that currently rests on the king's head.
Okay. Well, is there anything else amiss that I see among my belongings?
Kind of looking around, everything looks relatively normal, but with a natural 20 in your mind as you're looking at it, there is a faint, just the last few wisps of shadow rising off of your bag of holding.
I want to investigate, take a closer look.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Is that the one with the skull in it?
No, the unlocked one. Yeah.
Oh.
The one you found at Ahriman's lab.
18.
So you quickly, like, you notice the wisps, you open the bag, and there's just a faint wisp that is lifting out of the bag, and it just vanishes into darkness.
Oh.
Is anything about this wisp that would spark my memory?
The closest thing you feel like it connects to is those shadow creatures that you fought in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminds you of like the way that their bodies kind of like undulated and kind of faded into as they kind of seem to like almost evaporate.
How about those claw marks that I saw coming down into the hold?
There's like going back and looking at it, you now with your kind of head, there's just a couple moments where you see like 3 distinct like lines or scratches and it's kind of like alternating from rung to rung going down. Like maybe a clawed hand was slowly descending.
I'll ask Saurus if he knows of any creatures who would have claws that would match this pattern. Get up.
You can make a nature check if you want, Source.
Now this, well, it could have been something that was in the menagerie and in the labs.
Yeah.
So that's a natural 6 with whatever I would add to it. So that's a no.
Is that appropriate?
No.
No, doesn't ring a bell. I mean, like, there are creatures that have 3 clawed hands that he could say that it connects to, but he's not making that assumption or guess.
No.
Well, this is a bit worrisome. What did you say?
Well,
With the stairs had that same smoky, like essence coming off of it, or?
Well, it was magical darkness, so I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
I couldn't actually see it. I find it interesting that it went back down into the hold, yet when you woke up, it wasn't there.
See it, yeah.
And that there's wisps going into your bag of holding like it used it as an exit.
Well, if you want to climb inside, I can guard the outside if anything happens.
Let's see. Climb in to suffocate to death. Tempting, but no.
I will leave
Maybe-
it open and we can tie a rope around your waist.
Maybe your automaton could go in.
He's not much of a fighter. Let me see. Oh, I think I can't cast any invisibility, but I do have that gem of spell storing that Marlowe bought me.
Yeah.
And I think I've got some invisibility in there. Could I use that?
To cast on Anansi?
Yeah.
Sure.
If I make him
I think
invisible.
that's a 3rd level, so it's a 1st level spell, so it'd be one of the slots gone from the spell storing.
I thought invisibility was 3rd.
Is it 3rd level?
That's
Should be.
second level. The second level.
Okay, so yeah, mark off 2 of the 3 slots on the spell storing item.
Because I have it as a second level spell as an artificer. Okay, I have this question. So 2. Will detect magic? Does detect magic suss out any curses or?
Yeah, I mean, not detect magic, but identification
Identify?
would. Yeah, and you identified this bag. That's how you knew it was a bag of holding.
And I did not get any
There's no curse.
curse or anything like that on it.
Nope.
Okay, I'm going to use the spell storing item or gem to cast invisibility on a Nazi.
Okay, and Nazi disappears. But you can still hear him like gently like tapping along the wood floor.
Okay, and I'm going to open the bag wide and instruct him to fly inside, to be very careful, and just report back if he sees anything unusual that is not an item that I have purposefully placed inside of the bag.
Okay. So
And he should know what's in there.
so Nancy goes into the bag, which are you kind of viewing through his eyes as this happens?
I can't do that. We can just.
Oh, that's right. You can't do that you can do that with familiar, but you can't with him. All right, so he goes in and he doesn't report anything immediately as he like disappears in through, like he flies into the bag and just vanishes. And
He's already invisible, so.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Yeah. So you don't even see him. And he's just kind of taking inventory.
Visibly vanishes.
He visibly vanishes. He's taking inventory, and so you hear him kind of mentioning things that you have placed in the bag because he doesn't know everything that you've put in there. But you know, he's mentioning like objects and items, and you're like, yeah, that check. Like those are things that I've marked in my inventory. And then he doesn't mention anything about a darkness or a shadowy creature in the space, but he does say that there is a ring that you don't remember putting in the bag.
Okay.
Put it on. Put it on.
No.
I will ask him to grab the ring. Oh, should I just reach in and get it myself? I don't want to hurt
Yeah.
him.
Let a Nazi leave and then grab it.
All right. So basically, with the bag of holding, if I reach in with the intent of knowing what I want, it's gonna pull it out, right?
Yep.
So he's mentioned the ring. I'm going to tell him to come out.
Okay, Anansi flies out. You don't know that he has, but he exits.
He'll tell me telepathically.
Yep, he's now out of the bag.
And I'm gonna reach in and see if I can grab the ring.
Okay, so you reach in, you think about the ring for a second, and then you pull your hand out, and there is in your grasp a platinum ring with a single onyx stone.
Okay. I'm going to sit and ritual cast identify.
Okay, so you take the 10 minutes with this at the center, and you cast Identify. You start the process of drawing your sigil, placing the object in, reading through. About 9 minutes into it, a voice comes into your head.
Oh no.
I thought that this was a good arrangement.
Who am I speaking with?
I don't remember if I have a name.
What is your purpose then?
To feed
What do you feed upon?
those who deserve to be fed upon.
What makes someone deserving to be fed upon?
Oh, they behave in a manner that is selfish.
Who have you fed upon so far?
Well, there was a thief who had snuck his way into a monastery. There was a homeless man who robbed others of their food within a cavern city. There was a nobleman who was not paying his workers. But I was hungry before that, because you freed me.
When did I... Well, that's not a good good question. I never agreed to any arrangement with you.
But you took the bag.
I took the bag. I'm going to let Soris know of the voice that I hear.
Do you stop casting Identify?
No, I want to keep Identify.
Okay, so you finish casting Identify. And the moment you do, you hear kind of this like... Artax. My name is Artax. Thank you for restoring my memory.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
Artax, what have you remembered?
I was once powerful until a wizard creature entered into the veil and captured me. Bound me to this ring. Used me to create dark creatures. I made a man. An angry man. Gave him my powers to wield the shadow. He said he was going to burn down a city. Broadfield.
Was this man's name? I have it written down. What was his name, DM?
Soren.
Soren. Was this man's name Soren?
Yes.
How long were you in service of Soren?
Oh. My energy was used to create his powers.
Do you know who the wizard was who captured you when you lived in Nevea?
The one who made your friend.
My friend? Oh,
Hi there.
Yup.
There's a bit of me in him, too.
what happens if you stop feeding?
Well, the arrangement is that I feed on you.
That simply will not do.
Have you not liked my gifts?
I never asked for your gifts.
But that is part of the arrangement.
It was an arrangement that I was never aware of.
But you took the bag.
Throw him in with the skull.
You have a ghost. You got like a demon sugar daddy somehow.
Demon Sugar. That is the title of this episode. Demon Sugar Daddy.
But accidental demon sugar daddy.
Accidental Demon Sugar Daddy. That's a punk rock band right there.
It's
Accidental
amazing.
Sugar
It's
Demon
really
Sugar Daddy.
good. I'm sorry, Glucose Guardian.
I love it. Soris, you're hearing a very one-sided conversation. Right now.
Yes.
I'll fill it in. I'll let him know
Yeah.
exactly. You know, his name is Artax. He said he was bound by the same dark wizard who created you, and some of his energy was used to create you, Soris. How often do you need to feed?
Once per day. Or less, if the person is quite gluttonous.
So
Well,
you-
considering that he's feeding on evil people,
So he's fed for the day. He's only bound to the ring.
You ask him that?
Yes.
The wizard bound me to this ring, yes. It allowed him to focus my energies into his experimentations. You could free me from the ring. I would stay with the bag.
My good friend, I don't even believe I would have the power to do so.
Oh, but you know my name. The spell is quite simple.
Well, you've already fed for the day. So
I haven't seen it yet.
why don't we call it a night? And we can revisit this conversation tomorrow.
As you wish, my lord.
I would prefer you not. Okay, have a nice night.
Then
What would you like me to call you?
We will talk about it later. Thank you.
Thank you, my lord.
Yes.
Do you put it back in the bag?
Oh
No.
my
Do I
god.
have like a? I don't know about like a.
What did the Identify end up saying about the ring?
The ring
Besides
is...
what it told Artax?
Yeah, so it unlocked the spell. So what you learned from the ring is that it is basically a soul cage, which you've encountered before.
Oh yeah.
And the onyx is a capturing for the stone itself. Probably actually isn't black in color. That's the essence of the creature that is trapped currently in the cage. But it's bound to the cage. If you were to free it, it would change probably coloration or tone. Oh.
And then we would have
Another soul cage. I think you guys took the other one.
But then we'd have a demon veil creature wandering about, punishing those that he deems gluttonous.
He deems selfish or gluttonous, yes.
Yes, and that's not ideal for the realm.
Yeah, and Soros, you immediately, like, with your natural ability to kind of put pieces together, you're like, oh, the guy who was killed at the monastery, the wandering vagrant in the rift that everybody knew and disappeared one night, the nobleman that was talked about having been killed in his sleep in Hightower. All of those were in the last 3 days or so. Yeah.
My concern is this. These are all locations that we have traveled to, and as a wandering adventurers guild, people know that we are traveling to these locations. These murders could easily be traced back to us, even though we unwittingly, were harboring the killer.
In large cities, we're fine. Small towns and things like that, then yes, that's a definite problem.
Yes, someone eventually will start to recognize the pattern.
Maybe we could give this to Volmir.
Hey, Volmir.
Sorry, she's
Powerful wizard. He might know what to do. It's a veil creature. That's definite within his area of concern.
Sully.
She's so upset.
She's like, I don't know, Dad. This is not a good situation. All right, so Abel, you put the ring back in your bag of holding, or what do you do with it?
Do I have like a lockbox or something? I don't know. Or Soros, do you have something like a little jewelry chest or something that we could put this in separate?
No.
I appreciate you looking.
So it's like, I have a gun, I have an ammo pouch.
I'll just put it back inside the bag of holding.
Okay.
And
What's the worst that could happen?
It's shiny. Give it to Kaimana. That can't go wrong.
As Abel is putting it back in, Soros, you hear,
You have the power. Just ask me how to use it.
and then it fades away as he drops into the bag.
And I assume I didn't hear it.
You didn't hear that. He was speaking directly to Soros.
Okay. My intention is to research this Artax. That name that name.
Make a history check.
I'm pretty good at those.
You do, actually with advantage, because you do have a lot of training with the veil and things. Yeah.
Damn! Neither one of them were great. An 11.
You need your bard.
Does not ring a bell.
We got a +7 to history. I don't understand why I'm rolling like shit.
It's a little. You need to do a little research or reading to try to refresh your memory on those things. You could maybe ask your Praetor.
Yes. But my puzzle box is in my other bag
Yep.
with another dark creature.
You guys have.
I'm kind of tired of being the bearer of darkness. Alright, so that's what I'll tell Source. That is my plan, is maybe tomorrow we can find what's his face, and maybe he can give us some information about this.
Volmir.
He's turned it into a Ghostbuster.
Yes.
No, I'm just picturing us getting to Feldspar. It's like, what can we do to cause a disruption? I got a bag of holding with the flaming skull in it. And I've got a bag of holding with the
blood demon in it.
Well, I think we're trying to do the opposite of that.
Well, I'm just,
Opposite of that
I'm
effect.
just imagining like a thief. It's like, oh, they're both locked. Something valuable's in those.
You're damn either way. Just, oh man. Okay. I mean, he is taking care of bad and giving valuable things in return. Is he stealing these things directly from these people?
I mean, you kind of like get the sense that like the first night that he killed, it was probably the nobleman, and you got the really fancy goblet.
Yep.
The second night that he killed, it was just
implication number one.
a handful of coins.
Coins will be harder to trace, but
Yeah, you got the dagger. I forget what the other item was that you got.
It was
so,
a,
yeah.
a goblet?
Yeah, goblet. Yeah. So
Note taker.
yeah. So the goblet and the dagger may be implicating items,
yeah.
considering how the quality of their make and their value.
Yep. And I was gonna see if I can sell those before we left.
Probably not a
I
good
know.
idea to sell them here,
Well, I know where to sell.
or you could sell them in the room. That's true.
But, you know, you can make him disappear if you need to.
Okay, I assume it is super late. So
Yeah, it's
even if
after
we
midnight.
wanted- If we wanted to talk to Volmir, he probably will be asleep. I don't since the monster has eaten for the night. Does he just murder these people? Did I get a clear sense, or is he like?
He's feeding on them. That's what he told Saurus. Yeah.
Yes, Ronnie. The answer's yes.
Very nice.
Could just be
nice.
like plucking their.
And
blood
you
from
do
them.
like there is the moment where you remember that when they were talking about the guy murdered at the
Oh, yeah, they
monastery,
did.
that there were 3 claw marks on his neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Does he murder these people or just snuff out their life force? I feel like.
Well, vampires can feed and not, murder.
Yeah, ask the victims that question.
You can get the one guy at the monastery was found dead.
What's the meme? But did you die?
Did you die?
Yes, in fact they did.
Did you die though? I mean, yeah, I guess I'll just tie the bag of holding up really tight
Okay.
and try to get some sleep.
All right. So you,
After this
Saurus, do you
long-
go to sleep as well?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you guys drift off to sleep to finish your long rest, so you can take the benefits of a full long rest.
early tomorrow.
Anansi, keeping watch throughout the night, does not notice any other disturbances of any kind.
With strict instruction that if he hears even the whisper of a mouse, that he is to wake me immediately.
Hey, what's with the mouse reference?
He wakes you up a couple times because Saurus is lightly snoring, based off of your commands. But for the most part, you sleep well through the night. During Kamana, you awaken. The morning light. If you feel like you drank a lot the night before, make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Yeah,
Probably
give me a
did.
second.
I mean, we probably.
There's no hesitation on that. It's just like, yep. Well.
Yeah.
Ouch. Okay, that's a 2.
You take a point of exhaustion. While you did sleep through the night, it was not a super restful one, and you are feeling it this morning. So take a
I
point
got
of
it.
exhaustion.
I got a 6, so I think I
You
take
also
like
take a
2.
point of
Oh,
exhaustion,
no.
and you
Uh,
guys
how
take
do you-
turns in the bathroom dealing with it.
Where do I find that on D&D?
I'm not sure where you mark point of exhaustion on D&D.
It's up near your conditions.
I have a character sheet pulled up. Let's see.
Conditions. There we go.
Yep,
Wait,
and near
I
the
haven't
bottom you
found
can.
it.
Oh yeah. And then you can do exhaustion. Yep.
Exhaustion.
Wait, where is it?
You click conditions, and
Near
then
the
down at the
top-
bottom there's exhaustion. You can do first level.
you
What
click
is
the-
conditions?
Near
Sorry.
the top right hand.
Underneath your hit points.
Yep.
Yeah, underneath your points.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I see. Sorry, I'm on the PC now, so it's a little
Oh, you're
different. 1 level of exhaustion
Yeah.
because I got drunk.
Which is just disadvantage on ability checks.
Sweet.
Why do you
Poor
like-
Kaimana.
Yeah. All right. And then, so as you awaken, is there anything that you two would like to do before you head back over to the airship?
Sleep.
Go back to sleep. You can take
Go
a little
back
bit
to
of
sleep.
I can carry you. Carry you back to the ship.
Just-
I
you do it-
sling you over.
Or do you do it like a cat, where like you pick them up under their armpits and it's
They just
like
slink.
the body like
I tuck
slinkies
you.
down?
I tuck you under the arm. We're both very, very messed up feeling. Alright, Kaimana, I feel like maybe we shouldn't have drank so much.
Kaimana vomits.
Kaimana! I hold you out. Now I hold you out like a cat.
Bleh.
How
Like
do
a
you
baby who
have
pooped
so
himself.
much? Yes, you're so small. Oh, you're gonna make me vomit. Don't do that. I carry you to the ship.
Sorry.
It's okay. We shouldn't. We drank so much. And it was all free. That was the best part.
That was the problem. I used up all the charges on my jug. Like he had free booze, and then like on top of that.
So we show up to
Alright.
the ship.
You arrive back to the ship, and it is a tense. There's this tense feeling on board the ship as you arrive, as Soris and Abel are just beginning their day as well.
And as we see them coming, we will inform them of what transpired. Our new.
So do you want the good news or the bad news?
What happened last night that could constitute that?
You see, well, do you want the good news or the bad news?
Okay, the bad news.
Good, because there is no good news.
Oh, great.
And we fill them in on what happened.
I think I will ask jury, since we have items that I believe can implicate us in murders. Do you have any connections that could help us get rid of a fancy goblet and a ceremonial dagger without any questions being asked?
Wow.
How far below us are we exactly?
Do you mean like how high up
Like
in the area?
yeah, yes, that's what I mean.
100 feet or so.
What are we above?
So you are above kind of there's a few shops and houses and things in this vicinity of the aerodrome. Yeah. It's not a super bustling area of town, but there are a few buildings beneath you. Yeah.
Okay. Kaimana will ask for the goblet and the what was the other item?
A
again?
dagger.
The
Dagger. Ceremonial dagger.
I'll ask for both of those.
Whoa, wait, hold on. I know you're our leader, but maybe we should make a unanimous decision on this before you get your little paws on that and do something.
I'm making an executive decision.
No, you're gonna tell me what the executive decision is. Look, this works differently now that I'm here. What are you gonna do with these?
We're gonna get rid of them.
How do you plan on getting rid of them in a way better than I could?
Kaimana's gonna point to the rail of the ship.
Oh, come on, that's funny. That's
There are
very
houses
funny.
down there.
Yeah, it's like a couple shops and houses. Yeah.
All right, okay, we wait until we're over the ocean.
You know, that is actually better. But yes, we're not throwing them into the street, Kamado. But I like.
So compromise. We still get to throw them overboard. We just have to wait a little longer.
Yeah, I don't want a dagger flying down into someone's shop.
Yeah.
There's a pointy into that one.
God has given us a gift.
Based on your understanding of when you were analyzing them, these two items together are probably worth about 600 gold.
Nah, we're fine.
Give them to jury, and jury's gonna get rid of them with their contacts.
600 gold.
At a slight profit.
And can we guarantee that there won't be any questions asked if we
Wow.
do decide to-
It's interesting you're coming to me with this sort of thing. I thought you were kind of against this part of my job.
I am under no delusion that the word of the black market is going to ever go away. I just
Well,
want
as
to
long as you acknowledge that I'm important and that I can do only I could do the service for you, I'll do it. He'll
you
take
would have the fortitude to do this type of service, I should say. I don't have any problem with jury, really. It's just I don't know if
Jury just is loving that you were like, you guys do bad things, and then you're like, can you do the bad thing for me though? Jury is like smug as shit, smirking at you right now,
Yeah.
and it
Come
sounds
on.
Jury's suddenly over their hangover.
oh, it's weird.
Kaimana looks
just
at
the
you.
pick me up that she needed. That he
Yeah.
needed. I'm sorry.
Kaimana looks at you, Abel, and is like, "You just giving me the goblet and the dagger. We wouldn't be going through this right now."
I am
But
not.
it seems like, I mean, if you plan on keeping him around, is that the plan?
I don't know if that's the plan. I want to know more about him. Even
Can I
before
roll
we-
history to see if I know anything about him?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh
Even
no,
before
it's
we
gonna
go
be at
through all the-
disadvantage. That's fine. Do I just roll twice if I'm at disadvantage? I guess so.
Yeah.
Well, I rolled like a 9, so I think I don't know anything.
Yeah, no. Haven't done a lot of study on Shadow Veil or Veil stuff.
Is there a library close by?
No.
Oh my
The
God.
closest library would be the Violet Conclave, or you could go to the.
Oh,
I forgot the other
Monastery.
place. Yeah.
I want to go back to the spa
Okay.
so I can talk to my father.
They are. You haven't left the ship yet. The royal airship is being loaded to leave. So your father's at the airship right now.
He's right next door.
He
Right
is-
next door, yeah.
Yeah, because they're leaving. Yeah.
All right, I want to run over there and talk to him about Artax and what he knows. Even if we decide as a group to give it to Volmir, I would want to know more information about it.
Sure.
I don't want to give him, a free nuclear bomb, knowing that I don't fully trust the
For the
Violet
sake
Force either.
For the sake of brevity, you go next door, ask your father.
Mhm,
With a
mhm.
7, he has no idea.
Oh my goodness.
He said,
Does-
well, I feel like your mother would be a better want to check in with
Okay.
that. Yes,
Does he have a sending stone?
he does not.
Oh, I was wondering if he was like talking to mom back home.
Princess Alyria is present. She could message your mom if you wanted to.
She has a sending spell?
She has sending.
Yes, I would ask her if she can get a message to my mother
Okay.
to see if she knows anything, or if she can maybe do some research on, or send someone to do some research on her side before we leave for the morning, or before they leave for the morning.
All right. So she sends a message to your mother detailing the information. Whoop. Your mother. Let's see. That's much better. She returns back as briefly as she can with 20 words. Basically, was a general in the Veil army of the Subversion.
Oh gosh.
A general in the Veil Army of the Subversion.
Yeah,
Okay.
fairly powerful creature called a Dark Stalker.
Ooh.
My favorite 80s metal band.
Yes.
Does she know of any way to to destroy or get rid of the creature?
She did not mention it in the meeting, but you know enough about Veil creatures that they function very much like demons, that if they are killed in this plane, they simply reform in their plane.
Oh man.
So if you could find a way to banish the object back to its original plane, that would be one way.
But it would eventually make its way back somehow.
It could, as if it found a rift of some kind.
Okay. I'll bring all the information back to the rest of the crew to let them know exactly what we're dealing with.
Focus. Hates it.
In the meantime, if Jory wants to go fence those items while I was doing that.
Sure. Jury, you take a brief jaunt back to the rift. Takes about an hour or so. Go ahead and make a...
Can I go with Jury?
Yeah, sure.
Just to visit the rift one more time, since it's home.
So you both make your way back through the bar. You descend along the railing pass through near the waterfall, and you arrive back in the subterranean zone of the rift. What would you like to do while you're there, other than getting to the shop and dropping those items?
I guess I'll go fill in Iris as to where we're going next if she's around.
Iris is still, according to, you check in with like Phileas, she's still in the Boreal Quarter. She is staging some kind of uprising against the continued closure of the bridge.
Love it.
Yeah.
I'll leave her like a note about where we're going and kind of what our mission is.
Yeah, and if you want to send me what is included in that note, I will log it away in her file.
Perfect, I'll do that. And I ask Source if there's anything else he wants to do while we're down here.
No, I just wanted to stop by the old stomping grounds one more time.
All right. Well.
You go to the little general store. Jury, make a persuasion check to see how much he's willing to give you for these two items.
I'm at disadvantage. So it would just make it.
It would be a straight. That would be a straight roll, so you can just straight roll with that.
So 14.
14. He haggles with you a little bit. You play a little bit of a song. It kind of has this little effect. He's not willing to go to the full 600 gold, but he does part with 500 gold if you take
Ooh,
it.
all right.
So,
I'm fine with that.
But both items disappear into the enormous collection of lost items present within the general store for 500 gold.
Woo. That's exciting. Adding it to my total. I take the gold.
Okay. And there's some of the monastery are out and about delivering food and things, Source. There's a few other people that you recognize. Phileas is at work, so you can check in with him if you like.
Yeah, I'll say hi and bye to everyone.
Yes, and Source, just let me know how the gun works out for you. I think that it will be a fantastic addition to your armament.
I have used it once, and it has been excellent.
If you can, if there's any issues or problems, please make note. And then for version 3, we will make improvements.
Absolutely. Thank you again, my friend.
Absolutely. Don't stay gone too long and keep yourself safe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the monastery wish you well as you are heading out as well. The brothers there.
Yeah, we're not exactly plunging into safety though, are we, Source?
We never do.
I like that.
Alright.
We wander.
Yeah. So eventually you return a couple hours later. Abel Kaimana, what were you doing as they... Bless you. What were you doing as they traversed into the rift? Is there anything that you wanted to take care of?
Kaimana's going to take the time to familiarize himself with the ship.
Okay, go ahead and just make a general... Let's see, for your seamanship stuff, let's do... Wisdom plus proficiency for you.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's see.
Disadvantage?
With disadvantage.
Yes.
Damn it.
Because it isn't.
Every
The
exhaustion.
wisdom, intelligence, and dexterity rolls are definitely all disadvantaged.
It's alright.
when you're-
So, not modified, I rolled a 19 and a 15. So, that will be a 22.
Good. So you familiarize yourself very quickly with the ship. It's very, of course, much larger than any ship that you've ever piloted before. But
I think I would have piloted like a canoe.
Canoe, yeah.
Maybe a dinghy with a sail on it
Yeah.
prior to this point.
But there's moments where you like take a rope and you kind of dangle out the back and you're like looking at the rudder and you're like, oh, that's kind of works the way an oar would work. And then you go back up and you like tilt the wheel a little bit and you climb back down and you're like, you notice how it turns and shifts and you're like, that makes sense. And you see the way that the sails on either side tilt or shift as you're moving the rudder as well. And you feel like you could effectively pilot the vessel in the air. Although I'm not sure Kaimana still understands that this is a flying ship or whether or not it will be in the water. So we'll see.
Potato.
But it is there. Yeah, so you've familiarized yourself well enough. You don't understand any of like the mechanical workings of the vessel, but you think you get a pretty solid grasp of how to pilot it at least.
I don't know how it works, but I can drive this thing.
Yep, there you go. That's why you have Abel as your engineer to fix any of those issues.
Damn it, Abel! I need warp speed. Sad.
We are going
Abel's
mid-speed.
the Geordie LaForge of the group.
She's giving you all she can, Captain.
All right. Abel, anything that you're accomplishing in those couple hours?
I think after I got the information, I'll probably just come back with Kaimana and any like alterations or anything like that that he needs to make to his while he's doing his once over on the ship. You know, like if he can't reach the wheel, we'll put like extensions or something, a little platform.
Okay.
And I'll cobble those things together using my carpenter's tools.
All right, so you're supporting Kaimana in his checking out things and working. So together, you all do a once over on the ship to make sure it's airworthy and make sure everything's present. You do check both the crystals. They are fully topped off from their parking here, and they're ready to go.
Nice.
All right. Eventually, Saurus and Jury do return, and you are all reconvened at the airship.
So how did things go down at the rift?
Yeah, super easy. I mean, how do we plan on splitting the money?
Let's just split it all evenly
Okay.
and leave 10% for the guild. Huh?
So 10% of your money for the guild. Perfect.
And
Well,
total for the guild, I believe.
So 10% of your money. I'm not part of the guild last time I checked.
so
And
100 for each, including bar, and
how much
the
did you
ticket-
give us?
he gave us 500, so
Yeah.
that's 100 each.
Yeah.
Do you tell them that it was 500, Jury?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I
provided-
witnessed it.
Oh, that's right. You were there. That's right. Yeah.
Also, it was providing a service.
Yeah.
So.
And it's only fair that you don't
He was-
donate yours because you were providing the service.
So
So
he was providing a service, so we'll say that's the
that's fair enough.
fee that we pay. For it.
It's the you're all not going to jail service. Congratulations. Alright, so I took the 400 out of my inventory, so you took that.
Would I have diplomatic immunity as the son of a?
Yeah, I mean, as much as that exists
Of a
in this
diplomat
world,
from India?
yes.
Your diplomatic immunity is you're friends with the princess.
Yeah.
Why are you sounding so evil all of a sudden? I like it.
I don't want to be implicated in a murder that I did not commit. Okay, now that we're all here, I think perhaps our best option is to go to Volmir with Artax and see what he thinks. If he can do anything with it.
I say we throw him over the side.
Yeah, if not, we just throw him in the ocean.
My only concern with giving them to Volmir is that if it gets in the hands of the Violet Cloisters, it ends up back with the king.
Yes, my thought process was if he has information about maybe sealing it away, it's just throwing it in the ocean. While it can be an option, it's not the most responsible way to do it.
Why don't we hang on to it for a little while? We're going to Feldspar, which
Where's the map? How long will our trip take? Because I don't want to intrude on one of us.
It would take about 12 hours.
He'll have plenty to feed on in Feldspar.
Yes.
I would I think we should learn more about Artax and how to deal with cursed items. Then go from there. Because maybe something.
I think that Volmir might be able to shed some light on that. Without telling him that we have it to begin with, we could just see if he has more information about containing a cursed item.
We could send him a message,
Jury can do that.
and that will give him time to research it. And when we get back, then he'll have learned more, we'll have learned more, and we can deal with it then. Part of me really just wants to see Kaimana take this puppy into the air.
Yeah, we're not going to stay here another day. We need to get
Yeah,
a
so
move on.
let's message Volmir and see, and not giving any details, just go, what do you know about a void character named Artax, and what do you know about cursed objects, cursed with the soul cage?
Okay. Which I think
And
you guys talked to him about the soul cage that you
Right.
found before.
We did.
So he
Yeah.
does have some knowledge of that. So that's.
yeah, so we're seeking further knowledge about
Yeah.
soul cages and how you might safely dispense of something that is trapped inside of one.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want to draft a message, or you just say you
Yeah,
summarize that
it's-
in 20
it's like-
words? Yeah. Bless
We're
you.
the ticket. It's like ticket takers requesting info on soul cages and whatever else you said.
Good. Yep. So you fix
Yep.
that in 20 words. A moment passes. Artax, minor general of the subversion, thought destroyed, but apparently not. Soul cages, very powerful magic, mostly banned, as I said. Dangerous item, difficult to destroy. Best bet, toss it into a rift.
Kaimana was right.
And you understand rift, of course, meaning like a rift to the veil, so that it goes
Yes.
back to its origin, it goes back to its plane. Yeah.
Well, I guess we have a hitchhiker for a while.
There's another message that pops in a moment later. 20 words, not quite enough. If it becomes an issue, let me know your location and I will pop over and help you deal with it at some point.
Alright, he says he can help us with it if we need.
Be right back. Hang on.
You're good. Yeah.
Here's. Okay. I think for now we can maybe live with it. Get to Feldspar.
Okay. All right. So with the decision made and getting ready to fly off to Feldspar, 12-hour journey, you'd be getting to Eldritch Peak around 8 o'clock, or what, I don't know, like closer to midnight, so you definitely want to make your way as quickly as possible. We'll go ahead and take our 10 minutes there, and we'll come back and launch Something Ticket This Way Comes for its first voyage.
Yay!
I'm so nervous. I've been rolling like crap.
I know. So we'll be
Thank
back
you,
in
5.
10 or 5. Yeah, thank you. All right. So welcome back from the break. So after dealing with the shadowy creature and deciding to kind of put it off for the time being, the ticket takers are now ready to set the maiden voyage. You've already paid up for your time on the dock. You did not stay beyond the week that you paid for. There is I think 2 days that you weren't docked. You can choose to go kind of refund that money, or you can just leave it. It's up to you.
We'll just leave it on account because we'll be back.
Yep. All right. So you check in with the dockmaster. He clears you for exit. There is a moment where the royal airship does depart and takes off. Mara does not come out to say goodbye, but they take off and she sends her love from a distance. And they go
Awkwardly.
awkwardly.
Very, very awkwardly.
Very awkwardly.
Marlowe.
There is a moment, Abel, where you're out on deck checking everything, and you kind of look up to see the royal airship going by, and you see Mar standing at the bow, and she kind of nods in your direction, and then disappears off into the distance, heading towards the capital.
No.
And then you all prepare the ship for the voyage.
Yep.
So, Captain Kaimana, you would take her into the air, or go ahead and roll the Seamanship Check
Oh
for us.
no, is
Can-
that disadvantage?
Can Abel help?
Yeah, I was
Abel
gonna
can
say-
assist, so it will be a straight roll. Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's playing a little bit, and I'm just like,
You know, first flight, it shouldn't be any other way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have got drunk with you if I knew you had to drive.
That's a 13.
A 13. Okay, so there's a harrowing moment where it seems like you might crash into the aerodrome.
It's the scene in Galaxy Quest where the ship is leaving dry dock.
Yes. you pull out and like Abel's like wait, and you realize that you've left like one mooring cable tied off, and you quickly go. Saurus goes and quickly unties that.
No, we
and
just
brings it up.
yank the cleat out of the dock.
But you do make it into the air, and you all watch from the deck as the city of Hightower slowly fades from the distance. And as you're rising up, the distant mountain peaks of the Sunset Ridge rise kind of on the horizon, and you're making your way in that direction. So for the purposes of your travels, who would like to helm the perception check for the journey?
Source, that's high perception, right?
He's got one eye.
It's normally Mar.
I've
Jimmy,
got
I'm
my
glad
perception.
Birthday?
I do have a decent perception of +5.
Okay. So Source can...
I've got +7 if you want me. If
Oh,
you just
well,
want to
no.
help
Yeah,
me out. And,
Yeah,
Kaimana would be
I'll
at
help
disadvantage. But if Kaimana helps Sourus would be at advantage.
Yeah, come on and help Source.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, so Sourus, you can roll with advantage on your perception.
Wait, what did they have for
With advantage? Still bad?
I rolled a 2 and a 7.
Oh.
Oh,
The
no.
7 becomes a 12.
Okay.
That's not
Okay.
So for the first
Above a
bit of
10.
your journey, you're keeping an eye out. For the first 6 hours, you're flying over basically kind of like rolling hills, a few forests. There is a moment where you get to a space where you see like the main road that you're kind of following in this direction. It splits and one side goes off, and you see off in the distance it's entering into this enormous gorge. And those who know the Jury and Abel would definitely know that is if you're going by cart, that is the way to get into like the Veltland or whatever. It's a very treacherous journey as it goes through kind of like basically like a Grand Canyon style cart journey that way. And then
Is that on the other side of Moonvale Forest or whatever?
Oh, let me pull up my map.
It's blurry on mine, so I can't quite read it.
Yes, where's my map? There we go. So it's called it's right above Moonvale. It's the split where the Sunset and the Sunrise Mountains split. There's a gorge that runs through there, yeah. And then you see that the other road goes off towards, in the distance, what you can tell is rising sands. You feel like there's probably a deserted region that way. There's a large bluish green forest beneath you, and you're kind of looking at the map as you go, and you realize that that's probably Moonvale that you're flying over. You keep going for a little while, and as the sun is beginning to lower in the horizon, you cross over into that deserted region, and you realize there's a large expanse of sparse vegetation, and then opening up just into sands, and nothing other than that as far as you can see in one direction, and then the mountain range rising before you. A couple hours later, the one peak begins to make itself much more prevalent, and rising thousands of feet above the other mountain peaks around it, and that is the direction that you're currently flying towards, what is known as Eldritch Peak. There's a moment flying into the mountains, though, when Saurus, with a 13, you do notice the flitting wings of things far beneath you that do not appear to be birds.
I'm sure it's fine.
I pointed out
All right. So Source
Something
points
to
out.
keep an eye on. Do they look like dragons?
They do not look like dragons. It's,
Okay, then we're good.
if you pointed out somebody else who comes over, not Kaimana because Kaimana's behind the wheel, but if somebody else comes over to help you, somebody else can make a perception check to see if they can notice what it is. So Abel or Jury.
Abel, how's your perception?
Who said that?
Negative.
Oh, it's negative?
It's not a negative.
Oh, what is it? I have +1. I only have +1.
Yeah, either one of us would be the same.
Okay.
All right,
If you work together, you can roll with advantage, Jury.
Okay, we'll work
Oh, okay.
together.
All right, help me, Abel. Tell me what that is. Oh no, I just make a straight roll.
Abel gives you a spyglass.
Oh, and Jury's with
I just
disadvantage.
make a
So
straight roll, but I got a 17.
17, that's good.
Yeah,
So
it's
you're
fine.
looking out, and Abel's kind of pointing out, and Saurus like is squinting in that direction with his one eye. But Jury, you recognize these? They appear to
What is
be
a Nazis? I forgot he's in play.
humanoid in shape, but where they have arms, where arms would normally be, are a set of wings. And they are flying, and they're darting in and out of the mountain peaks. And you also notice a few nests up in the area that a couple of them are landing on. At some point, you see one carrying in the claws at its feet like a sheep up and drops it into the nest, and a couple of them pounce on it. They are harpies.
Harpies, yep. I was like, Ace knows what this is.
They do not yet seem to be aware of your approach. But if you decide to skirt around their nesting area, or you can keep flying straight over it.
Are they friendly?
Harpies?
Make
Not
a
from
nature
you.
check,
Like,
or-
make a nature check. Yeah.
Because I don't know if I'd know that much about them. I guess I'll make with disadvantage.
You just know from stories.
I got a 15.
The stories are not always positive. Generally, of like ships, passing through harpy-infested areas where the harpies would swoop out of the darkness and lift sailors off the ships and carrying them off to fate unknown.
Harpies are like mermaids in the sea.
Yeah. Hey, Kaimana, take us around these rocks, please.
Take you toward the rocks, guys.
No, not
the
towards.
metal
Away. Away.
All right, so
From the
Kaimana, make a seamanship check with disadvantage.
Okay.
Oh, no.
14.
14. So you adjust your flight pattern, kind of curving around them. There is a moment, let's see if they notice your presence. They do. So there's a moment where a couple of them, you hear like the distant like screeching sound. And two of them like break off from the nest and are flying up in your direction. You can try to like kick the ship into higher gear to outrun them, if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, so you boost up the speed.
Drop more sail.
All right, make an initiative, just an initiative check, Kaimana, for the ship.
Disadvantage.
No, for the ship. So you can roll that with straight, because that's with everybody helping you.
Okay. Is there any plus to that?
I think that I gave the ship a +3 to initiative.
That's a 6.
A 6. Okay. So you kick into gear and you start taking off, but it's a new ship. You're not quite sure. Like there's a moment where you push forward on the vessel and it actually begins to slow down, and you're like, oh no, that's bad. And so you pull back and it starts to speed up. And the harpies are approaching a little bit faster. But your Jury, Abel, Saurus, you all see them coming. Is there anything you'd like to do as they're approaching?
How far away are they range-wise?
They are probably about, at this point, maybe 200 feet.
Okay.
Harpoons! Man the harpoons!
What harpoons?
We have 2 harpoons on the ship.
You do?
I'm up
Okay.
Let me see what is.
Yes, Captain.
I will tell you to take the wheel for just a moment.
All right, Saurus takes over the wheel.
And I would like to cast Conjure Animals.
Okay, what are you conjuring?
I would like to conjure a shitload of bees.
Giant bees? Regular bees or giant bees?
Giant, whatever.
How many
Yeah.
half challenge rating items can you summon?
4. I can do 4 half
Okay.
challenge rating.
So you
items.
summon 4 giant bees that pop
Yeah.
into the air around you. Bzzz.
And I'm gonna point at the harpies and I'm gonna say kill.
Okay, so the bees charge for. Let me give them initiative check. Okay, good. So they charge towards the harpies, and all 4 of them go after one harpy. Go ahead and make 4 attacks for me really quick, Kaimana, and then add 3 to each one.
Okay, that's a 23.
Hits,
Actually, 22, a 7,
misses,
a 7,
misses,
and a 20.
hits. So go ahead and roll 6d8.
Oh my god.
Not the bees.
18.
And add 6, so 24. All right, so the first harpy gets like dive bombed with 4 of these bees, and she immediately like and like she backs off and she flies away. The other harpy seeing this, make it just an intimidation roll, Kaimana. Not at disadvantage because this is for the bees.
Okay. I would say you want Kamai to glare down from the railing.
You
Like,
can-
No.
It is
Jeez.
we'll just do a straight no bonus, so just whatever the d20 is
Okay.
for intimidation.
13.
13. The second one, yeah, so seeing the other one getting like poof, 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 like immediately like poof, and like dashes off the opposite direction away. The bees, the last command they were given, they chase after them. They catch up with the one that left late, so go ahead and roll 4 more attacks for me.
Fucked with the wrong bees.
Add 3 to each.
3, yeah, to each.
6.
Misses.
13.
Hits.
9.
Misses.
20.
Hits, so go ahead and roll again 6d8.
19 damage.
19 damage. And let's see. That one succeeds on its saving throw as well. All right, so this one, and it like, what the fuck? And like, it does swing out twice. It does hit the bee with the second strike, and one of the bees gets knocked out of the air, but the other 3 are still there. But they chase after the harpies as the harpies head back to their nest. There is a moment where 5 or 6 other harpies appear and quickly make short work of the bees, but they do not continue following you. And you are able to make your way continuing on.
I'm telling you, bees are such a deterrent. Nobody wants to fuck with bees.
No.
Nobody.
If a swarm of giant bees came after me, I don't need to do anything. So.
And I'm flashing back to 1970s Saturday Night Live and the Killer Bees with John Belushi.
Yes.
You think of Dr. Bees.
Dr. Bees!
All right. So the sun is setting as it's called the Sunset Ridge behind the mountains. And so these giant mountains, snow-capped at the highest peaks, are rising before you, and the sunlight's hitting them, and the snow is glowing like a reddish hue in the sunlight. And you are slowly making your way towards Eldritch Peak. Rising up. There is an aerodrome there, and after about another hour or so of flight, the 12-hour period does pass. It is close to midnight eventually, and you go ahead and make another seamanship check to see if you can successfully dock at the aerodrome.
With disadvantage.
With
No,
at this,
we're helping, we're
yeah,
helping.
because you haven't been able to rest yet. So just a straight roll.
I like how fast Abel came in with that. We're helping.
Just a straight roll because Abel is assisting you with the mechanics.
13.
13. It's a rocky docking procedure. There is you slow enough, but there is a moment where you your bumpers hit the crag, and this dwarven figure kind of rushes out from the central column and is like, you can't hear what he's yelling at you, but there's clearly profanities. But you stop.
I just want to see his face when he sees who's driving.
You stop and quickly, with Source and Abel and Drury, tie off the ship and lower the gangplank, and you are at Eldritch Peak.
We made it.
The dwarf approaches. Well, what the fuck are you thinking you're doing, crashing into my airdrum park like that?
I wasn't driving.
I'd like to speak to the fucking captain. Who was he?
And Kaimana will raise his hand.
Alright, we're jokesters, are we? Making little plays. Who's the real captain? Is it you? And he points over towards Abel.
The captain has already identified himself.
It makes complete sense why it would crash then. What brings you here at Eldritch Peak? The aerodrome is closed.
We flashed the thing. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Come on, go ahead.
In my defense, that doc jumped right out in front of me.
What, is this the first time you've ever piloted an airship then?
Yes.
Oh.
Wait, it's the first time you've done this? Jerry whirls on you. What do you
It's not the first time. It's not the first time he's piloted a boat, but none of us had piloted an airship before this, so he seemed
significantly more than a boat.
It's the same principle. There's just another dimension.
He's not wrong.
Jerry's hyperventilating in the corner.
But did you die though?
Almost twice.
I show him the landing permit that we have.
Well, that's convenient that you have that. Entrance to the city is also still closed, but you're more than welcome to stay docked here. How long are you planning on docking?
Let's pay for a week.
Yeah, let's say a week is.
1 week. The name of the ship, please. It's not on the side of the vessel.
Something ticket this way comes.
That is the full. Okay. And he writes it down.
The whole thing.
And he said the docking fees for a week come to 40 gold.
I'll pay it.
Okay.
So it's like out of like his little otter pouch. Like,
One at a time.
And
he's got some like prosaic way of counting too. It's like
If you take too long, Jury will be like, do you want me to count for you? I can just count real fast. Let me just do that really quick.
He has a system, Judy.
It's fine. I'm gonna override the system.
He says, well, and are you needing traditional fuel, or is this one of those fancy models? Using the crystals?
Yes, we do use the crystals.
yeah. Come on, look
That's an Abel question.
look over at Abel and be like,
What goat juice does it use?
We use the Zephyrsite crystal, yes.
Oh, all right. Then there's no additional charge for fueling then. Well, you're not clear to the city. It's a little bit late. You can, but it's you're free to come and go as you please. The pass down the mountain is that way, and he points over towards. You see kind of a staircase descending off the side of the aerodrome. But you can stay here on board the ship for the evening, or you can start making your journey down. Down the mountain will take, probably 2 days to descend the mountain to get to where Feldspar is.
we'll wait.
Okay.
Get his exhaustion
People
off,
suffering
and then
from
we'll go.
exhaustion.
Yeah.
So.
So you bed down.
And
oh, go
I
ahead, Source.
asked him if, while the ship is docked there, he can have someone paint us a nameplate.
We can hire a local artisan. Are you looking for fancy or quick work?
Yes.
Yes.
Fancy.
Fancy and quick work. Well, that costs a little bit more. I believe
Everyone starts counting them out one at a time.
I believe Renford might be available. I'll reach out to him. He typically charges about 30 gold for a full paint job.
That's fine.
All right. You can leave it with me, and I'll pay him if you're planning on leaving the ship.
Kaimana counts out 40.
Okay, as a little tip, that makes sense. Good. Any special requests on just common, or did you want it in multiple languages?
Hey,
No, just the one. Just in.
Just a common to start with. Okay, good.
We have a
so-
whole other side to
Yeah.
put.
well, the other side I think is the Northwick Buns advertisement plan.
Yeah.
Eventually. So,
like a NASCAR.
yeah.
Buy,
Yeah.
buy Northwick Bun.
Yeah. But he takes the additional 30
We're on a
gold or
run.
40 gold, and he makes a point again to say, "But the city is closed, so please don't attempt entrance."
Of course, of course.
okay.
Is that written on a sign anywhere?
Yeah, the main entrance to the city. He points behind you. There is a very, very large gilded gate that, in normal circumstances, would be open, but is currently closed. And like you see these like giant tumbler locks that are in place.
Why is the city closed?
Well, Eldritch Peak has been having some issues recently that the guard would like to take care of before they open it back up to tourists.
We solve problems.
It's a good thing we're not tourists.
I could reach out to somebody in the guard to come speak to you. That might be something you'd be interested in doing, but they're very capable.
We would appreciate it if you did. Yeah.
Was your rolls, Josh?
Maybe the Eldritch Peak guards are much better. Let's see.
If they're so
Nope.
capable.
That
yeah,
was
I
a
gonna
4.
say,
That was a 4.
So they're very capable, but how long has it been like this?
Well, ever since we finished the digging of the burrow, we've been having some issues.
So for a while.
A few weeks.
Makes me look at the map. She just tried to accost me, so that's why she's
Kaimana's philosophy on this, and he'll tell you this outside of the earshot of our harbor master, is if we don't see a sign that says the city is barred to our entrance, there's nothing stopping us from going in.
Well, I was gonna say, is there a way to have an alternate route, or?
Yeah, so there's a path. Like the quickest way would be if you could get into the city. There's an elevator that goes to the base of the mountain. That would be the fastest way. It would cut 2 days off your journey, basically. But there is a winding path that heads down the mountain to the establishments in the cities that surround Eldritch Peak.
So we take a day to solve Eldritch Peak, then we take the elevator down. We're still a day ahead of schedule.
We might as well hear what it is, and if it's too complicated, we'll just start walking.
All right. Well, I'll reach out to the captain of the guard and see if he's available. This is a bit late. He might pop by in the morning if that'd be more convenient for you.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes, I'm very hungover.
So, and there is a small tavern, kind of at the
Oh,
corner,
well,
like a
my
harbor
favorite
tavern
cure.
that is open at all
There we
times.
go.
So if you
Hair
want
of
to,
the otter.
if you want to grab some food or drink, that is available, and it's
Did
basically
you just say hair of the otter?
Yes, yes.
It's basically a stall, and you can go up and place an order, and they'll deliver it to the ship. So they'll deliver whatever you like to the ship for food and drink.
Oh my good, it's a DoorDash.
It's a DoorDash. It's a dwarf dash.
A dwarf.
Yes.
All right.
You do notice that all of the people that you see
Genius
officially
business
around
model.
are dwarven, except the person who runs the shop is a dragonborn, which for the original ticket takers, they've encountered one dragonborn, but not a common sight, but much more common in this region of the world.
Sweet.
Food and drink.
Should we find something to eat at the tavern? Or make an order, I guess.
I've been driving all the day.
You've been doing such a good job, too.
Hey, we didn't crash. We didn't burn.
We almost crashed.
But we didn't burn.
No.
We got like 2,000 miles to the crystal. We're in good shape.
Okay, well, shall we
And
order
there were bees.
Shall we order stuff and sit in the ship together?
Kaimana will sling his little hammock.
All
It's made out of like a flour sack.
Oh.
We can look over the map that we received from the secret
From Yoria, yeah.
Feldspar spy.
He's gonna also tie like a rope to one end and like pass it like to the opposite bulkhead so he can like rock himself.
Oh.
He's so cute. Look at him. He thinks he's people.
No.
So cute. Jerry just talking down to Kaimana the whole game.
I'm right here, Jerry.
Oh, look, he's talking to me. He's so cute.
So, do you place the order for food and drink?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just mark for the latte. It's about 4 silver. So whoever would like to pay.
I'll pay for it. You know, entertainment. That's my thing.
And it is
Kind of.
it's an assortment
Okay, kind
of
of.
meat pies and veggie pies, and some very stout dwarven beer.
Where's my big old beer?
Initially, they bring you a bottle, and then they notice that none of you are dwarves, and they start to take it away. But you could.
No, leave it.
Oh, well, this is the Dragonborn. Oh, well, this is the fine stock from Eldritch Peak. Typically, only recommended for dwarven kin.
Then we
it's like
extra want
17% alcohol by volume.
I know what I'm about.
Oh,
Oh, well, all right. And leaves the large bottle and 4 tankards with you.
All right,
Compared to Kaimana, how big is the bottle?
The bottle is about half your size. It's a very large bottle of.
Kaimana,
beer,
listen to me very carefully.
Kaimana's already walking
No.
away.
We all only do a shot of this. Last time I had this stuff, I don't remember what happened, but I don't think it was very good.
So I should have more of it, is what you're saying.
No.
I pour Kaimana a full flagon.
Okay.
oh dear.
I pour Jury a full flagon.
No, I don't want that.
And I pour Abel and I about this much.
I'm already
Y'all have-
hungover.
Y'all have hangovers to work off.
Yeah.
That's not how that. Okay, sure.
Kaimana,
You're gonna give Kaimana alcohol poisoning.
I've seen Kaimana drunk several times. It's gonna happen. We might as well embrace it.
Yeah. Over the course of the drink, do you drink the full flagon, Jury?
Oh no.
Do you drink the full flagon, Kaimana?
Yes.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
That's a 3.
Kaimana makes it halfway through the flagon and is fully shit-faced. But then the rest of the flagon goes down much smoother, but then you guys spend the night dealing with a drunk and throwing up otter.
No,
well,
Soros deals with it. Listen,
Here's
Soros,
the great thing about hammocks and boats. They don't have the T-bar on them like most people think of them. They wrap around you kind of like
It's harder to fall out.
like a banana hammock.
Soros, his hammock
So
is
I run a rope through so that Kaimana is sewn into his hammock, and I hang it over the side of the boat.
So, over the course of the night, you guys just hear, and like, you know there's going to be a mess to clean up on the side of the boat in the morning. I guess the artists will have to clean it up.
It's all gonna go down into the canyon below.
Below us, yeah. Far beneath.
And I do it on the outside edge so no one can see it.
There you go. All right. As
On the Northwick Buns advertisements.
the night progresses, Abel, at some point in the night, Anansi says, "It's dark again." In your head.
Okay. I'm going to wake up.
Okay. And you are enveloped in darkness.
I'm going to say, Artax, are you there?
Of course.
I hope you weren't planning on going out tonight.
But I am so hungry.
The rate at which you are killing people may cause.
It's like Eddie Brock talking to Vern.
And it's
You can only suck them half dry. Just leave them moving.
If you want our arrangement to continue, we might have to show some discretion.
But the dwarves of this mountain are so succulent.
The city is already in a bad way. We don't want to cause more confusion and strife that would bring attention to us. You don't want yourself to be locked in some cold, dark safe somewhere where you won't be able to feed, right?
Oh, I don't think a safe could contain me. Your words did not.
Well, there are plenty of magic users who could find a way to contain you. Let's just stay inside tonight.
Make a persuasion check.
Can Jury help me?
Jury is asleep.
Where is he?
Also, it'd be like Jury opens eyes, sees its magical darkness, closes eyes.
Not my problem.
Completely unbothered. Oh, okay. 19, a 20, a 20.
Oh, oh.
Do you promise where we're going will be delicious?
I believe that there will be plenty of gluttonous individuals for you to feed on very soon.
Wow.
But you have to let me make the decision who they would be.
Well, the tax collector was quite scrumptious. He may hold me over for some time.
Let us hope that is true.
And like he stops speaking in your head,
Good night, Solas.
and he disappears back into. He descends
Abel
back
or
into.
Source?
No, he says it to Source.
Source.
Yeah.
Because he also can talk to Source.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right.
Disappears back. You see the magical darkness slowly kind of go over your bag and slip in, and the last thing you see is through one of the sides, like a magical, like a little wisp of shadow disappear.
It's like Ka from the Jungle Book, just like
Yes.
No, Ka, let's not. All right. You go back to sleep. Saurus,
Yes.
that wakes you up.
Mm-hmm.
it's a very uneasy sleep for Abelos.
Yeah. Anything you'd like to do, or is you going back to sleep after Artax's good night?
I go back to sleep.
Okay. So you all sleep through the night. Everything seems fine. Kaimana is a little groggy the next morning, but
Can I cure wounds, Kaimana, before we go to sleep?
lesser restoration
do
is going to be
anything.
your. That, if anybody has lesser restoration, that could
Oh
probably
my
do it.
god, that's such a high level spell for you just getting shit faced.
Hang on, I think I got that.
I've got it if you need it.
You could have done it then before you went to sleep, so you didn't lose the spell, Jury.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So
Okay, yeah. When he was fucked up, I would have done that.
right before, after Saurus sewed Kaimana in,
I
you
am curious.
reached in and lesser restoration him. So you do not have to worry about rolling for Constitution the next morning. And for the most part, you feel like you were robbed of a good hangover, Kaimana, when you wake up the next morning. But you all come to. There's
Breakfast beer.
another Dragonborn appears at the frame, and the one the night before was silver in color. This one is red. Female Dragonborn, and she says, "So I heard that you all ordered last night. Is there any likelihood that you might be ordering breakfast?"
Yes.
Oh, all right. I'll bring. Is it how many? 4 breakfasts? Goes off. Returns with a seems to be focusing on pot pies for this group. A collection of pies for breakfast and a couple flagons of 4 flagons of breakfast beer, and that is also for silver for the lot
I
of
pay
you.
for
I'll
it.
pay, no, I'll pay
No,
this.
are you sure? All right, you can
Yeah.
pay for it.
All right. And then,
Fine.
And Jury says it just like that.
as you are kind of eating, a very well-dressed dwarven figure approaches the ship, wearing very nice armor, polished and clean, has a kind of a cloak attached to one side, and a very clean symbol on the breastplate. Grayish hair tied back in a hi Sally. Grayish hair tied back in a loose ponytail, and then a beard that goes down to his waist and is braided with multiple very shiny kind of markers holding it in place. Well, are y'all the ticket takers?
That we are.
Well, I heard from Sturgill over at the watch that you were interested in talking to me. My name's what did his name? I didn't look up my Eldritch Peak stuff because we couldn't go into Eldritch Peak. I'm Brighton of the God of Eldritch Peak. What can I do for you?
Well, you do know, you have heard of us as the Adventurers Guild.
We did hear that the Crown had established an adventuring guild, yes? That is you all, I suppose, yes?
Yes. And so we heard that y'all were having problems, and we wondered if it might be anything that we could help with. Outside perspective and all that.
Well,
Also expendable in your terms.
It's fair. What kind of challenges have you faced already as a brief little interview process?
Kaimana?
Jury plucks a string. Little chord.
The song of the ticket takers.
What Kaimon is going to describe is borderline nonsensical. And at the same time, to this individual's perspective, it's far too wild and disjointed to have been made up.
Okay.
So you basically tell him the truth.
Yeah.
With jury's assistance, go ahead and make a persuasion check with advantage, Kaimana.
All right.
Yeah, the whole time Jury's like this while you're doing it.
Playing power chords in the background.
Yeah.
13.
He looks a bit pained.
There are several moments in your journey where he's trying to keep up and follow, and there's doubt in his head, but he, at the end of the tale, he kind of looks across all of you and says, well, what of the story that odd? I suppose with a group this strange, it might make sense. Well,
Everyone often underestimates us. We use that to our advantage.
We are experiencing problems. Might be something that a group of adventurers might be able to take care of. If you've ever heard of troglodytes, they are currently waging war on the lower foundry levels of the peak. Not very happy with our drilling processes. Must have gone into one of their warrens. Mostly just stemming the tide, but it might be useful if somebody could go in and put a stop to the break entirely. They have some trained bullets that they've been throwing against our walls and use it to burrow under any of our defenses. So it might be worth your while, and we could probably throw some coin at it. But that would be up to the Dracenglower to decide the exact payment.
Abel? Your thoughts?
It's just
Dad, do it! Do it, Dad!
it's as good a place to start as any, as I'd see.
Jury, your thoughts?
Would we
Go
have
ahead.
time to perhaps explore the city ourselves to get a lay of the land?
I can't give you free reign of the city until it's made safe, as it were. I can get you passage down to the lower foundry decks, get you into the burrow mines. In the event that you were able to successfully deal with the issue, then yes, you'd have free reign of the city, you'd have free usage of the elevator. Where are you heading from here?
We were headed to, I don't remember where we were headed to, guys.
Feldspar.
Feldspar.
Wow.
Feldspar.
We haven't heard much from Feldspar in the last few weeks, but that would significantly cut your journey down from a few days to just a few hours.
Nice. We could build some favor here.
The Drakenglower are quite fond of building favors.
Your thoughts, Jury?
Jody, yeah.
I'm an independent contractor. I go with whatever the group says.
Kaimana?
Yeah, I think if we take care of the chocolatites, and I think the Glockenspiel will be very happy with this.
It is decided then.
Oh, well, I believe the council's currently meeting, so I'll take you to them. And you can haggle with them on the price and whether or not it is worth your time. But I'm willing to take a bet on you. So follow me.
I love haggling.
And he leads you off the ship and towards those giant entrances. He takes out a small horn and blows it, and you see the knobs at the top turn, click, 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 and then the gates open. This wind rushes out of the interior, and you all enter into the subterranean dwarven capital of Eldritch Peak. And that's what we'll pick up next time. Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Go ahead, come on.
I was gonna say I'm gonna hang back with like Juridan and Abel, like out of earshot of the guy. And what's a chocolatite?
I message you and say, don't worry about it.
Never do.
I describe it to Kaimana, but what I describe is a trilobite.
You are all going to be very confused.
I'm just shaking my head. I'll just say, if you see one, just be ready to hit it, okay?
All right. But we'll go ahead and pick up there next time with some exploration of the city of is Drakenheim, but in the city of Eldritch Peak. Yep. All right.
As we once again go in a direction that Josh was not expecting.
Go. I mean, you guys can do what you like.
Well,
Poor Feldspar is just sitting there.
We're gonna reach the bottom of the sandbox one of these days.
It would take 2 whole days otherwise. I like
Yeah,
an
I mean,
elevator.
like this was one of the one of the paths that you had to get down.
while
Yeah.
we're here, can we look for those things for Miss What's her face?
Oh yeah. They I forget what it's called. The moss that you're trying to find. Yeah, they would grow the Loomis slums. Yeah, they grow in the cavern systems around Eldritch Peak. So when you're down in the burrow, you may or may not come across some. Yeah.
Will the dwarves have an issue with us collecting these stones
Wow.
from their?
You're the Loomis stones, and then the moss is a separate thing as well. The lichen that she needed.
Oh, and moss.
The jewel wort.
What were you talking
They
about?
don't.
The
They
jewel.
don't have to know.
Well, she wanted jewel wort because it grows near the lumen stones, but she also said if you could get her some lumen stones, that'd be good too.
Yeah, but
That's
will
what
they
the bag of holding is for.
You may or may not. I mean, that's a question you could ask if you want them to be aware that you might be mining some of their stones.
They don't need to know. I'll just grab some on the way.
All right,
Yeah, morally gray.
but we'll pick
Better
up
to
there.
ask for forgiveness than permission.
Mm-hmm.
Abel does know that the Drakenglower, who are the leaders of Drakenheim, are known for being the most stubborn assholes in the entire realm.
And I just bought an avarice demon.
And yes.
To the most greedy group of great.
That's why he said they were succulent. What do you think he meant? He didn't mean in size.
Well, I feel like if I would have known that beforehand, I probably would have asked Omar to keep the thing for a while. Not-
It could prove useful in Feldspar though.
Oh, we
He
lost.
could.
We lost Chimera.
No, Kamana's here.
Oh, did we lose? Who did we lose?
The jury.
We lost jury. So when a window collapses, I cannot see whose window collapsed. There we go.
Okay, they're back. They're back.
Yep.
That would have ruined everything.
Oh no, you're fine. But we'll pick up there next time with
Yep.
our journey into Drakenheim, which
We need a game plan.
is fun. I haven't fleshed out Drakenheim fully yet because I thought that would be on your return trip. But that'll be fun to flesh
Yeah, I don't
out
want to take
this
2
week.
days walking down a mountain, fighting mountain trolls and whatnot.
That was definitely a possibility. So
Ace is actually really good at fighting mountain trolls.
yeah.
Ace,
Why do you
Ace-
say that?
Oh, because of. Tell him what you did. Tell him what you did. This is brilliant.
So we had to fight. I think they were trolls, like
Yep.
huge, giant-sized trolls.
There were 3 of them.
And we were all at like half spell slots. Like we had done a big fight already, and we could not rest. We were like not in a place where we could rest. We're at their cave, and we went out of there. We're like on a cliff face. We go out of the cave, and we see them in the distance, like coming. They see us, and they're like coming towards us. And I like get them to come over near us, and then someone cast like a fog spell or something, so they can't like physically see any of us, but they can hear us. And then I used my bard prestidigitation to make it sound like we were off the cliffside. And they were
That is
dummies, so they rolled really badly and they all fell down the mountain.
Oh,
We possibly like would have died, so
Yeah.
it was really
Yeah, it was going to be an ugly encounter, and it was just kind of like, and it's over, and we won.
Well, that's kind of, I mean, like, I love when, like, I plan encounters or whatever, and I love when you guys deal with them in ways that are, like, not normal. Like, sweet-talking some basilisks, or sneaking past a boulette, like...
Or like knocking the Rakshasas off so many times.
Or capturing a flame skull in a bag of holding.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
Those are all fantastic. I love it.
I think that might come in handy in this next fight, so I'm very
It might,
excited
yeah.
about it.
Yep, if you can get on that, get on top of it where we're looking down on them, just untie it and just toss it off the edge.
There you
to collect what's inside because I can't.
Well, it won't spill out. The stuff inside won't spill out. You'll be good. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Thank you
Yes,
all.
I'll see you all.
All right, guys. That was
Bye. Thank
Rob,
you.
you guys have a
Bye.
good one.
Bye.